Today we're taking a look at how to calculate paths. And we're trying to figure out how many paths we can take to go from A to B if we're only allowed to go down and to the left. So let's get started. So, actually I'm going to change this green. I can't stand this green. I've had enough of it. There we go. I do like this green. All right, so if I start at point A, I have the option of going two different ways. So if I go the most direct path towards question or point B, how many different options do I have to get to this intersection right here? Well, I have one, right? How many different options do I have to get to this intersection? Again, I have, oh, wait a second. That's not entirely true. Because I can go down here and then I can go over here, right? So that means and I can come down this way as well. So that means I have two different options to get to this point right here. Okay, so then from here, I can either go this way or this way, right? All right, so if I go along the edge of the circle, how many ways can I use to get to here? Well, I still have my one because that's just the only way, right? So if I go down, because that's one, how many ways can I get to this point right here? Well, I have one way to get here, plus I have this route here, so that's two, or I could go down in here, so that's three, or I could go from here to here to here, so that's another route, right? So, but in getting here, there are two ways. I could go one or I could go two. So that means I have two ways following this path as well, right? So hold on a second. So I'm going to change my numbering system here a little bit differently. So I have one way to be on this line right here. And we said we have one way to be on this line here. And we have two ways to be on this line. And we have one way to be on this line. So how many different ways do we have to get to this point right here? Well, 2 plus 1 plus 1. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4. So I have 4 ways to get to this point. Well, how many different ways do I have to get on this line right here? So I'm still at my 2, right? So to get to this point right here, I have 4 different ways to get to this junction, plus the 2 coming this way, so I have 6 different ways to get to that junction. This is going to be more complicated than I thought. So then, I still have one way to be on this line right here. I have one way to be on this line here. I can just follow the edge and then make my turn, right? How many different ways do I have to be on this line? Well, it's still 1, right? How many ways do I have to be at this junction? 2. So that means I have 2 ways that I can have 2 different paths I could have chosen to get onto this strut here. Alright, which means I have 2 different ways on this one, 1 different way on this one different way here. Alright, which means I have 1 different way here. So to get to this point right here, I have 1 plus 1 plus 2 again. So this is 4 ways to get to this junction. And then that means that I have 4 ways to be on this line, which means to get to this junction, I have another strut that I need to tie in here. So we need to work a little bit farther up. All right. So if I have 6 ways to get to this junction, that means I still have 6 ways to be on this line and 6 ways to be on this line. Which means, to be on this line, I also have 6 different ways. Which means I have a total of 12 ways to get to this junction. Which means I have 12 different ways to get onto this strut right here. Which also means I have 12 different ways to get onto this strut. So to get to this junction, we're still at our 6. Still at 6 here. Still at 6 here. Alright? And so to get to this junction, we have our 6 plus our 2 plus our 4. So 6 plus 2 plus 4, so that's 12. So there are 12 different ways to get onto this junction. Which mean, to get to this junction here, I have 12 plus 6 plus 12. So that's 24 plus 6, so that's 30. So I have 30 ways to get here. 80? My pen's stopped working. So that means I have 30 ways to get here, so that means to get to B, I have a total of 42. Now, I made up this problem and I just went through the answer. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right. So what did you get? Did you have a different way of figuring this one out? I'd love to hear it. Feel free to hold on to that thought, and actually I'll put a comment thing on Schoology, a discussion post. So if you agree with me, let me know. I want to know that. If you disagree with me, I want to know that too. But why? Why do you disagree with it? All right.